What taxes do you need to file as a Washington-based therapist? My name is Tony Cameron with TLDR Accounting, and we provide tax and accounting services to therapists, small business owners, and individuals. One of the common questions I get asked is, what are my tax requirements to file as a Washington-based therapist? And it turns out there are quite a few of them. So today we're going to cover the various areas. So first off are your federal taxes. So for this one, it's really going to depend on how you formed. And in Washington, you do have a couple of different options. The first question I always ask is, are you an owner? Are there multiple owners, right? Do you have a partner in your business or not? If you don't, it simplifies things a little bit, and there's a couple of different general options we recommend. You can be either a PLLC, which is our preferred method, or a sole proprietorship. As a sole proprietorship, you don't have limited liability, which is why we recommend the PLLC. In Washington, you can't just be a regular LLC because you're providing mental health services, so you're a PLLC. In that case, you're the only owner of a PLLC or your sole proprietorship. Then your taxes are reported on Schedule C on your 1040. So your business taxes and your personal taxes are intermingled. They're reported on one tax return, which is great, and it keeps things simple. Now, as your practice starts earning more income, there are ways to change that. And it might turn out that it's time to become an S corporation. Depending on your income, we like to see at least 6 figures. Then you have a separate tax return, an S corporation tax return, and then you still have your regular 1040 for your personal taxes. Now, if you have more than one owner, you could be a partnership, you could be an S corporation, you could be a C corp. There's a variety of different entity formations that you can have if there's more than one owner of the private practice. And obviously each of those has their own tax return types. So now after your federal tax return, you have state taxes. So Washington state taxes. And Washington does not have an individual tax return, but we do have business taxes. So there's this thing called Washington state B&O taxes. It's business and occupation taxes. This is based on your service income, and it's based on your gross service income. So if you made $90,000 in your private practice last year, you would have to report $90,000 on your Washington state B&O tax filing if you file annually. That's the other thing about Washington. Your state B&O taxes could be filed on an annual basis, a quarterly basis, or a monthly basis. And it's really going to depend on how much income you're bringing into your practice. As you grow your practice, more than likely you'll move from annual, which is where most folks tend to start, to a quarterly or monthly filing, which is a good thing because it means you're making more money with your practice, right? And we of course want you to be making more money. So we have federal, we have state, and then we have local taxes. So say if you're in the city of Seattle, the city of Bellevue, we have local B&O, and it's very much like the state B&O, but it's just on a local level. This is normally filed on File Local. It does depend on what city you're in. Seattle and Bellevue have it, but some of the other cities or unincorporated areas don't. So that's going to really depend on where your practice is within the state. Now, this could be sounding a little crazy because you do have a federal filing, you do have a state filing, and you do have a local filing. So those are the 3 main things you really need to think about with your practice. Is you're going to need a local business license and a state business license as well, because those are triggers for those different agencies knowing that you need to file, and they send you out what forms you're supposed to file. They remind you. All of these can be filed online, which is super helpful, right? Especially for your state and your local taxes, because they're not filed with your federal return. They have a different timeline for those, and they're very different tax returns. So as a therapist in Washington, you have a federal filing, you have a state filing, and you have a local filing. So make sure you don't forget those. If you found this helpful, subscribe below.